Look at these pictures. Don't you want to be in a group like this? Don't you want to have a group of friends to take clear screenshots with and have a great time raiding together? Today I'll be teaching you how to find the perfect static in Final Fantasy XIV. Believe me, I have lots of experience. I used to be a static hopper a few years ago, joining and leaving groups every month. I'm not proud of it, but it taught me what to look for in a raid group. I learned how to weed out teams I wouldn't enjoy being a part of, and I learned what I really wanted out of a static. In this video, I hope to pass what I've learned on to you, the viewer. Let's get into it. Searching for a static that will fit your needs is a step-by-step process and often requires a lot of trial and error. Before I get into the process, please understand that getting declined from groups is natural and something everyone goes through. You won't get every job you apply for, and similarly, you won't get accepted to every group you want to join. Even now, after 4 years of playing the game and achieving rank 1 multiple times, I still get declined from raid teams on my alt. No amount of achievements or background or experience will ever get you a golden ticket, and getting told no is a part of finding a raid team. You just have to accept it and try again. Don't take it too personally, and understand that the people leading these groups are people like you or me. They aren't gods at the game that declare if you're good or bad. You can be an amazing player and get declined from a casual static. It's completely normal. You may be wondering where you even find statics that are recruiting, or where you can post a recruitment message to look for a team. There are two main areas: the FFXIV recruitment subreddit and the FFXIV recruiter Discord. Personally, I prefer the recruitment Discord because it's easy to see what people are looking for, but I know people who hate it and prefer the subreddit. If you want the best chances, then use both. I'll link them down in the description. Before we even get into applying for groups, we need to discuss the importance of sticking to what you want out of the game. If you want to play a certain class, don't be willing to flex for the good of the group. A lot of players end up joining teams and getting convinced to play a different class or role because, well, it helps the group and I want to be helpful. But you need to remember to prioritize your own fun over anyone else's. At the end of the day, this is a video game, and you need to determine how you will have the most fun and stick to it. If you want to play Black Mage and your group says Summoner is better, who cares? Play Black Mage, it's your decision. This does have the potential of getting you kicked if the group is really that stubborn, but just remember, you are the most important person in your life. If you're not having fun or don't enjoy doing something, don't do it. This is a video game and you should determine what you want to do. Obviously, don't be rude about it, but stick to what you want and don't get persuaded so easily. Alright, let's go over submitting an application. I like to follow a semi-strict form that gets the recruiter the information they need while also making myself approachable and opening up a dialogue. My form goes as follows. Link your FF logs, then state any notable achievements, such as a past raid clear or your experience in the current tier. After that, state how comfortable you are with your class or a brief overview of how you view yourself, listing any weaknesses if you have any that matter, such as a scheduled conflict or a health issue. From there, just talk to the person and be as respectful as possible. All they need to know is your FF logs, your experience, your goals, and what you want from the group, and if you're not a crazy person. It's really simple. With that being said, it's important we talk about the types of groups out there. There are 3 types of statics: casual, midcore, and hardcore. They sound pretty self-explanatory, right? Well, in theory, yes, but in reality, 99% of the groups out there call themselves midcore statics. It's like a catch-all blanket term to say, we care about the game, but aren't amazing players or don't play a lot. A casual static is a group that maybe doesn't play all too often, or doesn't take the game too seriously, and is more interested in hanging out with friends and having fun over clearing the content. A midcore group varies wildly, and they might care more about having fun, or care more about clearing. It really depends on the people, and it's not a very good term to rely on. A hardcore static is also a bit difficult to parse, but generally means putting in a lot of hours to clear as soon as possible, or focusing extremely on the game and getting the most progression possible in the time that you have. There are a few subtypes like soft hardcore or SHC, which means the focus is mostly on clearing the fights and playing the game at a high level, but they either don't have the time to put in crazy hours, or still enjoy having a laugh every once in a while. For the purpose of this video, I'll be focusing on the main 3, casual, midcore, and hardcore. Let's start with the casual statics. Casual statics are great for new players, for players that want to make friends and just have fun without being scrutinized for their gameplay or mistakes, and for players that enjoy drinking while playing the game. I know there are lots of you out there. There are a few warning signs to watch out for in a casual static, however. You need to make sure that the person leading the group has actually played the game for some period of time that gives them the knowledge required to lead a group. As I said, casual statics are great for new players or first-time Savage Raiders, but your leader plays a huge role in this kind of group as they will be responsible for explaining strategies or handing out responsibilities. Generally in casual statics, people don't like to speak up and might be kind of quiet because they feel like they don't have enough raiding experience to have a say in decisions, so make sure the group leader is a good person and has been playing Final Fantasy for a while or already has raiding experience. Going into a group of 8 completely new raiders is a recipe for disaster. On top of that, you need to understand what is expected of you. More often than not, you won't get ridiculed for mistakes or called out for your play in a casual static, but that doesn't mean you can AFK mid-fight and completely not care. At the end of the day, people come together to down raid bosses, and if you're uninterested in playing the game to the best of your ability, you are likely to get kicked. No matter what level of the game you are at, no matter how invested you are, people just want you to do your best, so put in the effort that you can. Lastly, just try to be a person that people want to be around. This goes for every static no matter how hardcore they are, but it does matter more in the casual statics. Don't be rude, don't yell at people, don't complain when someone makes a mistake twice or more. Remember what you're there for. Having fun and playing with friends. Be friendly and enjoy your time. Okay, on to midcore statics. Trying to understand what you're getting into with a midcore static is like rolling 7 dice and hoping to get all 6s, but in reality you mostly get 2s or 3s. There are many traps, pitfalls, and warning signs to avoid when searching for a midcore group. The first thing you should do when looking for a midcore team is determine the amount of hours that you're able to run. A casual static might have flexible hours and play whenever, but as you go up in skill and join a higher tier teams, schedule becomes a very big factor in what groups you can play with. Don't ruin your life over a static, and stick to a schedule that works for you so you can balance raid time with the rest of your life. The second thing is to ask for the group's FF logs. We aren't asking to judge their percentiles, but instead look at their clear dates. Find out how early they downed the bosses and get a good idea of the average skill level in the team. The week you want to clear the fights is very important in your decision making process. For example, a midcore group can clear week 10, and then another group can clear week 1 or 2 and still consider themselves midcore. The scales tip so wildly in both directions, and you need more information to get a clear picture of the team's skill level. Find a group that clears around the time you want the tier to be finished, but remember to be honest about your own skill level and don't try to join groups that are way out of your league. On that note, however, it's important to try and be around players at or slightly above your skill level. Being around good players will cause you to improve just by the nature of the mindset rubbing off on you. In a midcore group, you will be looking to clear the entire tier, and that requires you to play well and work well as a team. Do your best, and if you're one of the weaker players in your group, then use that as motivation to improve and become a better player. Lastly, hardcore statics. Joining a hardcore static means you've probably been through the static joining process before, but for those of you that are looking to enter the highest tier of the game, I still have some advice to give. First of all, determine if going hardcore is really what you want out of the game. Are you okay with clearing content week 1 and farming for months? Are you going to enjoy your time in FF if new content is done the second it comes out and its lifespan is extremely short? Just because you have the skill level to go hardcore doesn't mean it will increase your enjoyment of the game. For me specifically, I have often entered the hardcore and elite tier of FF and repeatedly found out that I have less fun in that environment. People are too toxic or too serious for my taste. I enjoy clearing quickly and playing the best I can and doing extremely well, but I also enjoy other games and want to have fun, laughing my way through a tier or an ultimate. One of the most common misconceptions is that hardcore players are online playing 24/7 or no life the game and play non-stop, when in reality, the hardcore players actually spend the least amount of time raiding compared to others. This can get a bit skewed if you're still sticking to a 3-day or more schedule after progression to do speedruns and optimization runs, but as far as raid progression goes, hardcore players front load their time spent and then have months to relax and do nothing. This is great for a player like me who loves all types of games and doesn't want to spend months progressing and doing 3-day raid weeks. If you decide that going hardcore is for you, then consider the following. 1. Understand that at the hardcore level, skill is more important than personality, and you open yourself up to joining groups with extremely toxic members that get turned a blind eye because they are good at the game. 2. You will often be required to sacrifice real-life commitments or your vacation days at work to progress, spending 12 hours or more a day raiding when a new raid is released. 3. These groups are very volatile and often fall apart constantly, and you may end up looking for a new team sooner than you expected. Consider the downsides and drawbacks when deciding if hardcore raiding is something you want to do. There are always exceptions, and I'd like to take a moment to talk about my group and our goals. I've been with my static for 2 years now, and we've had the same exact members for those 2 years. We clear Savage week 1, and usually clear Ultimates within a month. We play 2.5 hours a night, 3 days a week, but during Savage we often push our schedule to every day of the week and maybe go for 4 to 5 hours a night. My group is what I would consider soft hardcore. We care about progression when it's required, we push our times and go for longer hours when needed, but still love each other as friends and enjoy laughing and memeing on each other. It took me 2 years to find a group that cleared content quickly and in a timely manner while still having fun and being great friends. It's rare, it's extremely hard to find, but the perfect group is out there. You have to be willing to leave and move on from teams in pursuit of your goal to find the perfect group. Remember that at the end of the day, we're all people playing a video game. You can find a static that works for you and make amazing friendships that will last years. You just have to be willing to find it. That's all I've got for you today, friends. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with my content, and check out my Patreon if you want to support me further. Follow me on Twitch for live streams, Twitter for tweets, and join my Discord to engage with me directly. All links are down in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Peace!